Hey everyone, it's Ryan Leonard with Wolfnest Property Management, and today we're going to talk about really the pros and cons of being a Section 8 landlord, or why you should become a Section 8 landlord, yay or nay. So let's take a look. So really, what is Section 8? So the Housing Choice Voucher Program was really established in 1937. So it was a way to help low-income tenants find affordable housing. So we'll kind of look at some, really, what is it? So Section 8 is really a program where there's government assistance with the tenant's rental payments. So typically what that looks like is a split. So 70% would come from the voucher program, 30% would be coming from the tenant or directly from that tenant. Now, there are certain qualifications that these Section 8 tenants must go through in order to get qualified for the Section 8 housing program or voucher program. Now, what are some of the pros of Section 8? Well, the biggest is that it's a steady source of income. So again, knowing that the government is going to be paying the landlord or the property manager directly is obviously a great benefit. You know that check is going to come in, whether the tenant's rent, if they have a reduction in hours or they just mismanage their money this month, okay, you can still count on, that larger portion, again, about 70% of that rent coming in from the government. So a great example of this would be with COVID. A lot of tenants, not only just here in Utah, but nationwide, were either furloughed, had a reduction in hours, or just simply lost their job. So any of those tenants that were on Section 8, fortunately for those landlords, that money still would have been coming in, even though the tenants may have opted out not to pay rent and there was no evictions that could happen with that moratorium. It was great for those Section 8 landlords because that money was still coming in via the Section 8 vouchers or the Section 8 program. Next one is some of the cons. Now, obviously, with any government program, there's going to be some red tape. Now, one of those would include a inspection from the housing authority, making sure that the home or the rental property is habitable, and really hitting the Utah Fit Premises Act. So, electrical systems work, heating and plumbing works, water works, doors and windows lock, and it's just in general clean and habitable. Those are the big ones. Also, with Section 8, inherently there are some higher risk for damage from people that have lower income or lower credit scores, and it's harder to hold them accountable should that damage arise and the deposits not cover it. In addition, evictions are a little bit more difficult as these tenants on the voucher program have some additional protections, obviously just being in that program. So those are definitely some of the cons. Now, with Section 8, again, it's just one of the options that you should have in your tool belt if you are a landlord. And it's really looking at your property and seeing if a Section 8 tenant is something that is viable for that property. So obviously the higher end properties, the ones that are, have higher end furnishings or appliances, may not be the best for Section 8. But there's obviously a need for lower income housing. And, if anything, there's definitely more Section 8 tenants than there are Section 8 properties. So it really would help minimize vacancy having a Section 8 property, just because there's so many people that are looking for those more affordable housing type rentals. So obviously there's some pros and cons with Section 8. And if it's completely over your head, if you're doing this yourself and you want to reach out and get some additional information or some assistance with maybe a potential tenant that you're looking at, feel free to reach out. You got my name, phone number, email here. Shoot me a call. I'll be happy to discuss and see if Section 8 can be a good fit for you, or look at your entire portfolio and see if Wolfnest could be a good fit, so you don't have to worry about this, and Wolfnest could take the tenant voucher program or the Section 8 program off your hands for you. So again, that's Ryan with Wolfnest, and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.